Hey, everybody, OGG, overt, go green. How's it going? I'm doing good, and I hope you are too. We got deck tech for you today, but before we get to the deck, 3 questions for you. 1, do you think 29 lands is just a little too few? 2, is your favorite X-Man Colossus? And 3, do you like hitting your opponent with huge creatures and yelling out, boom? If you answered yes to all 3 of these questions, well, this deck is for you. This deck I call 30 Land Colossus Boom. 30 Land Colossus Boom is based around this card right here. Cultivator Colossus. Green, 4 for a star trample creature. Cultivator Colossus's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. When it enters the battlefield, put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you do, draw a card and keep repeating the process. And so I started with this card and I thought, oh man, this card could let me draw a lot of cards and ramp me into something, right? So to do that, I played 30 lands, right? Now this is the 30 lands I played. This is pretty close to almost exactly what I would want. If I could change any one thing, I'd put in 2 more farmlands and lose 1 plains and 1 forest. But you want 30 lands, okay? And that is because this deck is based around creatures, like your boom creatures, right? Well, this is your Colossus, right? But also hitting it with boom is from Cultivator Colossus and from the Red and 7 Treefolk tokens, right? Red and 7 is a card that's been out there a lot, mono green, good card, does a lot of stuff. The +1 in this deck is actually really good. Put all land cards into your hand. That's because we have lots of ways to put lots of land onto the battlefield, whether it's Cultivator Colossus or Druid class. Druid class is green 1. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, I gain life. But for green 2, I can play an additional land on each of my turns. And it feasibly also, for green 4, can make a boom creature and smack them in the face for creatures' power and toughness equal to the number of lands we have, which should be a ton of lands, like 12 to 17 lands in play. This does ramp you, right? Turn 3, play a land. Green 2, play an additional land. Right now you're up a land. We play 4 Mulch. Mulch sends cards to the graveyard. And we'll talk about, we do have 1 way to get cards out of our graveyard. We'll talk about that in a second. But more importantly, it puts all the land cards revealed this way into our hand. We have Marasa Rootgrazer, which also is a 2-mana ramp spell because it lets you put down basic lands from your hand right into play at instant speed. Keep that in mind. And it also is 2/3 vigilance. And it can return a basic land from the battlefield to your hand. Just another way to ramp, because it can return a tapped land that you can then tap it, play, and then tap again if you need to. So there's 4 of those guys. There's 4 Cartographer's Survey. This is a card from VOW, green 3 sorcery. Look at the top 7 cards. Put 2 land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped. This is great because it does not say basic land. So I can put any 2 lands I find onto the battlefield tapped. I got 2 Yasharn, the Implacable Earth, green-white 2 for a 4/4. When Yasharn enters the battlefield, look for a basic forest or plains, or a forest and plains. Reveal those, put them into your hand, which is 2 cards. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. Super good with shutting off treasure. I don't know why a lot of people don't realize this, but it shuts off treasure. Notice we can still sacrifice our lands because we have a land that we need to sacrifice, but this allows you to sacrifice non-land permanents. But all our permanents that we want to ever sacrifice are lands. And then we have 4 Doomscar just to control the board, wipe it away if we need to. Just in case we're running into something aggro-y. And then for lands, we do have 2 Lair of the Hydra, which can get big creature land. We have 4 Port of Carful. This is great in the control match. Like if we run into a control deck, you can't counter the ability of a land, right? Like you can't counter a land coming into play. So we can use this to return Cultivator Colossus to the battlefield tapped. And notice Cultivator Colossus's ability triggers when he enters the battlefield, not when you cast him. So you don't have to cast him, right? You can also return a Yasharn if you need to. So we also have the world. So how do we get the mana for Port of Carful? Well, we have 4 World Tree, and controlling 6 or more land in this deck is very, very easy to do. And then your land to make any color of mana. We don't have any gods, so it's not like we're teeing off to sacrifice the World Tree and then slop a jillion gods into play. That's not what we're going for here with this deck. We're using the World Tree to only enable Port of Carful and to fix our automatically fix our mana for whatever we need to fix for. So there's the deck. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, let me know. Just leave a comment down below. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in a few days for the matches. And this is OGG. Out!